There's always a moment in football when a player stops being questioned and starts being feared. Not slowly, not over months, but instantly. One action, one game, one spark that flips the entire narrative. For Florian Wirtz, that moment has finally arrived. And if you've been watching Liverpool closely, you can feel it. This isn't just improvement. This is transformation. Because what we're seeing right now isn't a player trying to prove himself anymore. It's a player stepping into exactly what he was meant to be. As highlighted in the original breakdown, this shift didn't come out of nowhere, it was building quietly beneath the surface the whole time. A start that looked worse than it was. When Wirtz first arrived at Liverpool, the expectations were unreal. Big transfer fee, huge reputation, and the kind of hype that doesn't leave room for patience. People expected instant impact. Goals, assists, headlines. But football doesn't work like that. Weeks went by without that defining moment. No breakthrough goal, no viral highlight. And naturally, the noise started. Fans began questioning. Pundits started analyzing. Social media, as always, rushed to conclusions. But if you actually watched the games, not just the stats, you saw something different. He wasn't struggling, he was adjusting. A new league, faster tempo, more physical defenders, less time on the ball. And on top of that, he wasn't even playing in a fixed role. Different positions, different responsibilities, different expectations every week. For a 22-year-old, that's not just challenging, it's overwhelming. Yet even then, the quality was obvious. The movement, the awareness, the way he found space where others couldn't. He wasn't invisible, he was just ahead of everyone else. The goal that released everything. Then came the moment against Wolves. You could almost feel it before it happened. The run was perfect, timed so precisely it looked effortless. One clean touch, no panic, no hesitation, just control. And then the finish, calm, composed, almost inevitable. That wasn't luck. That was confidence returning. And the reaction told the real story, not just from Wirtz, but from the entire team. They knew what that goal meant. They knew what it unlocked. Because sometimes, a player doesn't need 10 chances. He just needs one moment to remind himself who he is. And from that moment, everything changed. The stats were always telling the truth. Here's the thing most people miss during his slow start. The numbers were already elite. Wirtz has been among the top creators in the league when it comes to chances from open play. Not just decent numbers, elite numbers. The kind you expect from players already established at the highest level. And it doesn't stop there. His work rate is ridiculous. High-intensity runs, distance covered, pressing in the final third, he's doing everything. This isn't a player who disappears when he doesn't have the ball. He's constantly involved, constantly influencing the game. So if the output wasn't matching the expectations, the problem wasn't his ability. It was timing. Football at this level isn't just about talent. It's about connection, understanding, rhythm, and those things don't appear overnight. But now, they're starting to. Living in the most difficult spaces. One of the hardest roles in modern football is playing between the lines. That number 10 space where defenders are constantly closing in, where you have less than a second to make a decision. That's where Wirtz operates. And the reality is brutal. He's receiving the ball with almost no time to think. Pressure from every direction. One wrong touch, and the attack is gone. But instead of shrinking under that pressure, he thrives in it. That's what makes him different. He doesn't need space to create, he creates space. A quick turn, a disguised pass, a sudden change of direction. These are small moments, but they break entire defensive structures. And when you can do that consistently, you're not just talented. You're special. The version Liverpool were waiting for. Now that the confidence is back, you can see the full picture. Wirtz isn't just a playmaker, he's a complete attacker. His dribbling isn't flashy for the sake of it, it's purposeful. Every movement is designed to open space, to shift defenders, to create an advantage. He doesn't just beat players, he manipulates them. His positioning is even more impressive. He arrives in spaces at exactly the right moment. Not too early, not too late, just perfectly timed. And his vision? That's where things get dangerous. He sees passes others don't even consider. Through balls that split defenses, quick combinations that accelerate the entire attack. Sometimes he plays passes without even looking, pure instinct. And now that he's adding goals to that, that's when a player becomes unstoppable. A partnership that changes everything. But football is never about one player alone. And Liverpool might have found something special in the connection between Wirtz and Hugo Ekitike. It's one of those partnerships that just makes sense. One creates, one finishes. One controls the tempo, the other attacks the space. Ekitike's movement is constantly pulling defenders out of position. And Wirtz, he's exploiting every gap that opens up. You can see the understanding growing with every match. The timing is sharper, the decisions are quicker, the chemistry is real. And once that connection becomes automatic, defenses won't know how to deal with it. The system finally makes sense. A big part of Wirtz's rise isn't just individual, it's structural. Liverpool now look different, more balanced, more fluid, more connected. The midfield controls the game instead of chasing it. The attack moves with purpose instead of forcing things. Transitions are faster, cleaner, more dangerous. And most importantly, Wirtz is being used the right way. He's not being pushed into uncomfortable roles. He's not being restricted. He's being trusted, given freedom. And when you give a player like Wirtz that freedom, you don't just improve the team, you transform it. The confidence factor. Football is as much mental as it is physical. When a player loses confidence, everything becomes harder. The first touch feels heavier, the decisions feel slower, the risks disappear. But when confidence returns, everything flows. That's exactly what we're seeing now. Wirtz isn't second-guessing himself anymore. He's playing instinctively, taking risks, driving forward, demanding the ball. He's not reacting to the game anymore. He's controlling it. Why the league should be paying attention? Here's the scary part. He's still not at his peak. He's still adapting, still learning, still building chemistry with his teammates. And yet, he's already producing at a high level. Now imagine what happens when everything clicks completely. When every run is understood, every pass is anticipated, every decision becomes automatic. That's when players go from dangerous to unstoppable. And slowly, the Premier League is starting to realize what's coming. Liverpool are becoming dangerous again. This isn't just about Wirtz. Liverpool as a whole are changing. The early struggles? Fading. The inconsistency? Disappearing. What's replacing it is something far more dangerous. Control. They're winning more, scoring more, playing with confidence again. And at the center of it all is a player who was once being questioned. Now, he's becoming the reason everything works. This is just the beginning. What we're watching right now isn't a comeback story. It's the start of something bigger. A player who was doubted, criticized, misunderstood, now finding his rhythm. Now showing his level, now proving exactly why Liverpool believed in him. Because players like Florian Wirtz don't fail, they evolve. And once they do, they take over. And the scariest part? This is just the beginning for Florian Wirtz. Not his peak, not even close. So the real question is, are you watching it unfold? If you want to be smarter every day, like and subscribe.